Welcome to COMMSTUD 154. In this semester, we are going to be exploring the theoretical and practical aspects of mental health prevalence, portrayal, and management from a health communication perspective. We are going to start by examining the area of health communication. We'll look at how mental health status is studied in the communication discipline. We'll talk a little bit about stigma surrounding mental health issues. We'll cover the disclosure of mental health conditions, and we'll talk about how individuals engage with others using social support to manage our mental health or the other mental health of others. So in this video, I'm going to provide you kind of an introduction of me and the course and talk about some of the important things that are in your course syllabus. My name is Dr. Karcher, and I'm going to be your instructor for this session and this course. I am a faculty member in the Department of Communication Studies here at Bloomsburg University. My office is in McCormick Center, but we are going to be having office hours and communicating with each other online this session for this course. So on this course syllabus, you'll notice I have my office hours as well as a Zoom link where you can click in and come to see me or to talk to me or ask me questions. Anything that you would normally do during office hours we'll be doing on Zoom because this is an online course. I encourage each of you to stop in on the Zoom office hours, say hi, and if you are unable to make those office hours, we can always schedule an appointment, or you can always email me at my email, which is also in your course syllabus and on this slide. So a little bit about myself. I am married and I'm the mother of a handsome 3-year-old. We live in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We normally really enjoy traveling as a family, but this summer we stayed close to home. We most recently went peach picking, which was a lot of fun over at Rohrbox in Catawissa. You can see that here on this slide. My son's name is Alex. He keeps me very busy. I also have the Purdue symbol here because that's where I went to graduate school and started my research looking at how individuals and families communicate about difficult topics, one of which is mental health. So I do have some experience working in this area that is the kind of context of this course, and you'll read some of my research later on in the course. So we'll be covering some of that as well. In this introduction video, I am going to cover the most important information that's listed in your course syllabus, which I really encourage you to read if you haven't yet. This week we are going to really focus on getting started and having a strong foundation in this course, and one way to do that is through this introduction video, also using the different interactions in PlayPosit, which is another purpose of this video here. So I am going to So in this course, we are going to be using 2 major technology tools. The first you are really familiar with by now is Bolt. And so in the introduction video, I went over our Bolt page and how everything's laid out and where things are located and how I'll be setting up weekly modules. If you haven't watched that introduction video, I really encourage you to go back to the Getting Started folder and watch that because I give some screenshots of what that looks like for our course. It's going to be important that you check Bolt regularly. I will be making various announcements, but most importantly, checking in at the beginning of every week to read kind of the tasks for the week, to watch my video message that will be in there every week, kind of overviewing what we're going to be doing that week, as well as having important announcements that may come up from the week before, going over and kind of summarizing some of that content. So those activities are going to be really important, as well as working through all of the activities that you'll be, readings and stuff, all of the readings, all of the activities, everything will be posted in Bolt. We are going to be using a tool for lectures, which you are using now, called PlayPosit. So if you're listening to this lecture, you have created your PlayPosit account, and we are going to be using that to kind of have some interaction during these lectures. Not the same as a face-to-face course, but it does give you kind of a way to have me digest some of those readings for you, connect them to some real-life examples, And through the interactions, it helps me kind of get a sense of how you're connecting with the material through both kind of checking your understanding of things through the practice quiz questions, as well as some of the kind of open-ended free responses that we'll have throughout these interactive lectures. So awesome, you will be using that. All of the lectures will be linked in our Bolt page, so you'll be able to access and see everything in Bolt. When you have the PlayPosit lectures, you'll just link, and that will link you out to your PlayPosit account. So I encourage you to do that. Everything start in Bolt, it'll all be there for you. Another important area of your syllabus is the course in university policies. Some of the university policies, some of them are my course policies. The first of which is that I don't require or I don't allow late work. So this is a 7-week course. We clip along at a fairly quick rate. I have all of your assignments due at the end of the week. So you have an entire week to do the assignments that are assigned. So I really feel that you have ample time to be able to do that, even if something comes up, like you have a doctor's appointment or you have to go home for something. I mean, you have essentially, if I open them on Sunday, I close it on Sunday, you have generally 8 days to complete the assignments for the course. So in order for me to keep on top of grading and for you, the course builds. So for you to keep up and not get to the end of the 7 weeks and be like, oh my gosh, I have all this work to do. I really don't allow late work. Now there are sometimes extenuating circumstances, and we can talk about those through the university procedures and policies, but that's settled on a one-on-one basis. Bolt or computer failure is not accepted as an excuse for late work. So if that does happen to you, first of all, don't wait till the last minute and try to submit all of your assignments at 11:50 on Sunday. You may have troubles, and then it's going to be hard for you to kind of come up with a backup plan on how to get your assignments to me. So if you have a trouble with a quiz, I can go back in and reset your quizzes if we have time before the due date. Any discussion activities, you can send them to me over email if you're having trouble with Bolt. So try to get me your work as quickly as you can. If you are experiencing any kind of troubles or issues, you can shoot me a message. For things like PlayPosit, I can help you resolve some of those the best I can. Sometimes if it's a complicated issue, I'll shoot you out to send you a message to the Bolt support or the PlayPosit support if it's kind of beyond my very limited computer savvy skills. So there is that. We've talked a little bit about office hours and using Bolt for communication, my email. All of these are really acceptable ways to stay up to date in the course, as well as kind of reach out to me if you have any issues. And then in the course syllabus, there's also the university policies on academic integrity and dishonesty. Sum that up and please don't cheat in the course, as well as the accommodative services. If that applies to you, please get me your paperwork as soon as possible. All right, so looking at the course assignments, what I am going to really require of you throughout the course. Starting with reading assignments, you'll have noticed in your syllabus that you read that there is not a textbook for this class. All of your assignments will be posted in Bolt. In the introduction message that I posted, and you should have watched already, you saw that each module will have a readings folder as well as an assignments folder. So the order of operations here is to log on to Bolt for the module, listen each week, listen to the introduction message for what is going to be expected of you for that week, go do your readings, and then do the weekly activities, which will be comprised of quizzes and discussion activities. So in your interactive lectures. So read the readings, do the interactive lecture, engage in the discussion board on Bolt, or kind of the different discussions that we'll be having, and then do your quiz for each week. So there will be a quiz for each week. I mentioned in the getting started message about reviewing your quizzes on Bolt. That is really important. So there is a tip sheet on how to do that. You will have a final exam in the course, which is cumulative. So going back and reviewing those questions can help jog your memory about what happened in week 1. and what I highlighted as being really important to kind of think about through the quiz questions, right? So in the quiz questions, I'm kind of hitting on and highlighting the most important pieces of the course, and those are the things that you're going to want to focus on in your final examination. So each week you'll be, except for your final exam, engaging in the first three things here: your reading assignments, your weekly activities, and your quizzes. And then that final exam will be during the last bit of the course. There is one day that the final exam will be open. There's a really short turnaround with this course in terms of there's no final exam period because it is a 7-week course. And so, there is one day, and then I think I have 2 days to get final grades posted. So there is a short, because of the 7-week nature of this course, there's a short turnaround for your final exam. So that's why it's only available on one day. All right, so then you can see how all of those things lead into your total final grade. This course is developed on a point system, not a percentage system, so there will be no kind of rounding up. Your points will determine what grade you get in the course, and there is a chart in the syllabus that you can look at to kind of see what that looks like. Your weekly activities, so the introduction activities, the discussion activities, the play-posit activities, all add up to 115 points. Your quizzes, you'll have 10 of them. They're worth 10 points each, so 60 points. And then your final exam is worth 75 points for a total of 250 points in the class. The last thing I want to draw your attention to that you should have seen in your course syllabus is the course schedule. I do have the course schedule laid out where you'll see what your readings are due for each week. So that is what you're supposed to read. So you'll see for week 1, you're supposed to read the course syllabus. And then underneath the topic and the readings for each week, you'll see the assignments that are due. So you'll do your introduction, posts, and responses. You'll create your play-posit account, and you'll do your practice activity, which you're doing now, which is awesome. And then you'll see below that is week 2, which starts on August 30th. We're going to talk about introduction of health communication. You'll have 3 short readings. You'll have an interactive lecture, a discussion post, and a quiz. And that's going to be fairly consistent throughout the session. Week 2 is what the normal weeks will look like. So you can always refer back to this course schedule. I will review in the announcement for each week what the course schedule says. So you'll have multiple checkpoints each week to check up on what is due and expected of you for each week in the course. All right, well, that sums up the tour or overview of the course. Continue to get started this week. And other than that, I look forward to working with you this semester.